Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about which one of the Akatsuki you guys should be maxing out, if you guys should you guys even max it out at all. So let's actually get started. So we are going to go over to the exchange page, go over to the atmospheric coins. So here we are going to be able to exchange both of them. So we do have the Shiranui right there. So each piece is going to cost you roughly about 400 pops, so that is actually quite expensive. And then if you are considering to max out everything, the maps gets crazier. So let's actually get started with the basics. Let's say in a real world situation, you want to max things out, you want to alter every part. How much is it going to cost in terms of how many event points you need? So just a quick calculation for you guys, just for one singular unit. We just talked about this one, for example. You are gonna need up to a total of 42,400. I'm talking about maxing out the whole Akatsuki right here, getting the alteration tools as well. So that is going to be the L badges that you can find right here. So they are only going to cost you 100 a pop, so 800 right there. And this one is just expensive, right? 42,000. I don't think that is something I can even get within like the whole 2 period event. So it could be possible, but you are definitely going to be, you know, using a whole lot of energy tickets. So if you guys do have some stock up per se, definitely go ahead and use it right away if you wanted the whole thing maxed out. But I'm just gonna tell you guys, there are definitely some parts that is really unnecessary to max out. I think overall it's more for the collection purposes. And then there's also going to be another perks that may interest you, it may not interest you, but we'll talk about that just in a little bit. If you go over to the Awashi version, so this one is the same deal, so same 8 parts. So if you're talking about I want to max out both unit, we're talking about now 84,800 to max out everything. So that is quite an expensive grind, but I did the grind already way back in the days where it was much more expensive. So here we are. I did already max out both of them, fully level 99, fully red mark as well, because the other perks that I want to talk to you guys about, potentially why you want to be maxing it out, is going to be for the beam resistant. So you guys can see in terms of the beam resistant for the Owashi version and then the Shiranui version, they are actually quite high, because normally speaking, I want to say 10,000 plus maybe, or 15,000 or 1,500 is actually quite a stretch as far as like how good the beam resistant can be. But these two units specifically, because of the overall design, obviously with the technology, obviously, you know, it's supposed to be blocking beam. But what this is going to be good for is there's going to be time when arena mode it's going to call for beam resistance. So the higher your beam resistance is, the higher your battle assessment, the battle assessment is. So you are going to be able to rack up a lot more points for that. So if you guys care strictly about that, these two units are going to be your top pick, especially for a free-to-play player that wants to be good in that specific mode. But other than that, I don't really see another whole not really worth mentioning, especially this one here. I definitely say the Owashi has definitely worn off a little bit. It's not as good as it was back in the day. There's definitely going to be parts I completely refuse to say max out, because it's actually not that good. So let's actually get started with the Owashi version. So these are going to be the stat after you max out to fully level 99 red marks. You guys can see some part are red marks right there, so double red. And then some are obviously not, but let's kind of go over this. So these are just gonna be some of the base parameter right there. I think one issue I have with this one is the vortex is actually quite horrendous. You got Gundam type for base, for tundra, and then high mobility. So this is actually quite a mess in combine. But if you do kind of separate piece by piece, it may not be all that bad, but overall just not having it for the vortex. So I would definitely give it like a 5 out of 10 if needed to be. But in terms of the part trade, let's kind of talk about those as well. They aren't really great either in a way. For starters, you do have some power boosting stuff, but this one is pretty much going to be time gate, or let's say armor base. So you do have to fall below a certain amount, which is going to be 80% or less. So I feel like because of that choice, I would give this one like a secondary, you know, as far as like, do you need to fully max it out? So this one is definitely going to be on that tier in my opinion. Beam Saber actually is not that bad. So after 20 seconds elapsed, you do get an EX skill power boosted by 35%. So that is actually quite a good amount. I feel like 20 seconds is not that bad in a way. So that's definitely really personal. So I might get this one in between like a must max out to a secondary choice, because 20 seconds could be long or could be very short depending on how you look at things. But if you feel like just on a personal basis on yourself, you feel like, oh, any content I play probably takes more than 20 seconds, then go ahead. This one's definitely going to be a very beneficial one in your arsenal if you guys do not already have a better beam saber out there. But other than that, these two stays in secondary choice for me. If we head down to the, let's say, beam rifle, I think this one is good. Just that initial charge boosted by 20% still is a very good component. So I do want to consider putting this one, let's say maybe in the primary slot, just to say, oh, you must have this on alternate or fully maxed out. The next one I have is actually just going to be the shield. I think this one could be another secondary choice because this one is granting that enemy shooting power reduced by 30%. So I think this one could be a secondary choice for me as well. So that is like if you max out everything else, right? Things I feel like does not necessarily need to be maxed out are definitely going to be the head part. Vulcan obviously is really bad. We have the Awakening here. This one is just honestly really bad, considering they are giving you a lot of, beam resistance up, but are you guys really surviving anything with that? Let's say you get hit with Rampage, or let's say you get hit by these gold cannon, or you're not surviving those. Like those are literally gonna melt you on the spot. So no, these are no. We talked about, let's say, the leg part here, not really all that good, just like a regular combo anyway, so I wouldn't really need this one to be maxed out. Things maybe another optional is definitely going to be the back part, the high energy beam cannon. This one could be good if you're lacking anything that hits really hard. This one I feel like it could, let's say, one shot like a multi-mission boss, with exception the Reflection. Obviously you cannot, because that one is heavily beam guarded, so that one is a no. And then another one that I can think of strictly melted is probably, let's say, the Purpose for Gundam. We have the hash one. I think you can just one shot it with this one potentially. I never personally tested it out, but I think it's possible. And then Big Zan you also can, I believe so. So there definitely, this one could be very useful for back part, specifically, and just for the fashion. It looks nice overall, so that's that. So this one I might actually bump that up to maybe like a secondary. So you do have 4 parts that we are talking about secondary that you guys can definitely look into in a way. But honestly, if I were you guys, I will really stay out of this one. After talking about this, I will say this one is the overall unit is going to be on your secondary list as well. So you have a whole lot of secondary. I know it's like, why did you review this one first? Because when we go over this one, you guys gonna say this one is probably the best of the two. I think so too. So first thing first, this one does have better stats. Overall, this one has a higher beam resistance, roughly about 9,000 in a sense, right? Better shot attack. This one is just more refined. This one is just better in a sense. Look at those war tags. You're getting those premium tags that you'll be running for your shooting base build anyway. So why not go ahead and max it out as well? This one for starter, I believe every part in here comes with commander. Yeah, a whole 8 parts comes with commander, so that is really good. Mid rush is actually quite a underrated tag as well, so this one is actually quite good as well. You also do have force space. Why not? This one is good. In terms of the portrait for this one is actually quite good as well. For starter, let's actually take a look at the arm part. You're getting revive. Do you want that? Absolutely yes. You get revive, and then you also get some energy charge by 12%. 12% honestly is not cutting it. I know, like okay. So this one I'll actually put it on the secondary list because this one is actually just quite too low. As far as the recovery, like the revive, I feel like there are so much part out there that does it better. So this one probably no for me. So this one is gonna be a secondary choice for me. Everything else is like, I think this one, the beam rifle. Yes, 1000% yes. Look at this, free. This is a free trade. Like there are no condition. This activate on the spot. So this one a must all trade. Bust max out, this one is it. No question asked. Great tag as well. No question asked over there. This one is good. All right, shield. Shield, I definitely say it's another one you want to max out. Look at this. So for 20 seconds after attacked it with an EXQ. So this one, let's say, so when I say attacked it, right? So if your enemy EXQ has multiple hits, so after the initial first hit, the one that comes after that, they are immediately subjected to getting the 35% reduction. So this one is good. So max this or not, this one is also really great. And this one here, when you're receiving beam damage, you're getting another 90% shooting power reduced. What? This thing is cracked. So beam rifle, shield, definitely a must have. I think they're definitely really good. If you talk about, let's say this one here, right? This one, for any of you guys that purely enjoy debuffing your enemy, there you go. You got a debuffing by 50%, and then you also have a debuff time up by 22%. What is this? This one is good. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's good. So yeah, so we have, I think, 3 parts in here, like the twin blade, the rifle, the shield is like a mess. Compared to this one, hello? This one, you may think this one is good. If you have the Shiranui version, no, don't do this one. Go back to this one. This one is good. EXQ. So I would say the head part, the torso part, the leg part, they're the same for the Owashi. They're not necessarily needed in terms of maxing it out. You can max it out if you want. If you have the resource support, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. But if you are limited, just get one copy of it and that's it. Don't bother maxing out their EXQ because they're not good. But in terms of the back part, this one could be argued otherwise as well, because this one is one of those phono type EXQ. So this one is actually not too bad in a way. You're getting that B plus or A pierce and B plus power. So this one is going to be hitting hard. So regardless, I think this is actually not that bad. I think that is pretty much it, right? So this one definitely going to be on that secondary tier, right? Along with the arm part. So these 3 primary, these 3 here, they are like, nope, they're like, get one copy, that's it, don't go any further. And then if you hop back to this one, I think you guys can now definitely say that there's definitely a whole lot of part that I may not want to max out, and that is very true. So this one, I think overall definitely do focus on the Shiranui version because it's newer, better stats, and just overall it's a better shooting based unit compared to the Owashi version. But like I said again, if you guys do have the resources for it, definitely do go for it because they are like, we don't know when it's gonna be the next time they come back, so it's definitely wise to get them right now. But especially for the Shiranui version, definitely get those part that is really good because like they're like essentially free in a sense. Like I'm talking about free condition. There's none. So that's good. I guess I'll actually end things up by just testing those out for you guys. So I'll actually be using this one and then using this one, just gonna show you guys what is going on. But I think that should be it. So let me put this onto a build and then we'll hop over and see how they do. So I have my friend right here, Manga. So he has a really good tank. His tank is actually one of the better ones that I've seen so far. So what he's like, I'm just gonna say his tank build is actually better than mine as well. So credits to him. So what we are gonna do, we are gonna be using the back part EXQ for the Owashi version. We will actually use the Limerick as well, so we can get a double in damage. But we are doing type disadvantage towards him. So we'll definitely see what's going on. I definitely do have high expectation for this one. Although let's say the stat may not be the greatest as far as the piercing and then the actual depth or the power goes, but I think with my build and what is actually going on here, we should be able to one-shot him. Oh yeah. Yup. Wow. Like I mind you guys, his tank is actually really good. So for me to be able to take him out like that, props to that back for EXQ. That is really good. So what we doing, so this is the build. You guys have seen my build numerous times, but what I did different this time around, I actually replaced everything. So everything is a like you don't see anything that's buff traits overall. So everything is damage trait or damage trait, power booster. So we are maximizing our full potential. So this EXQ pass. This EXQ is good. So if you were able to one-shot it with the limit break help, that is great. this is it's good. But obviously there are situations where beam is gonna be reflected obviously when you're fighting the repletion, so do mind that. So I will be using the same build, but this time around we are gonna be testing out the Shiranui backpack just to see how that one fares. Alright, so we are in, so gonna be doing the same thing, activate the limit break, and then we are gonna let those funnel fly. Activate that, and then we're just gonna do this. So I feel like funnel might actually just do more works just fast. Oh, okay, popping that revive already. Can we finish things up right here? Not yet, not yet, almost there. Nice, there you go. It's gonna take a little bit honestly, but it's not bad. Just being able to finish the enemy, especially a tank build within the time limit of the duration of the funnel, that is actually quite good. But so you guys do have a better picture of both those EXQ, especially the back part EXQ. So hopefully this right here, this shows you guys like which one of the two is better, and especially the back part EXQ. I think they're just good. Overall, I don't think there's anything to just kind of discredit them about. It's just the portrait and just talking about, you know, the newer version versus the other version, it may not be that good, so you definitely do want to put your coins into, or your event points into, good use. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it for me, and then I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.